Hey everybody, this is Brett, and since I'm doing so well with making videos, why not make another one? I'd like to talk about toxicity and chemical sensitivity tonight because I have so much experience with that. And it seems to me that the more sick I felt from all the different things that I was dragging out of the tissues of my body, out of the digestive system and muscles and bones of my body, and getting that back into my blood, the more sick I was, the more sensitive I was to all of the toxins that were in my environment. Okay, so when you experience environmental illness, you learn really fast that you don't want to pollute this earth anymore. And people are going to learn on a massive scale this lesson that I'm talking about. Massive. And those of you that are worried about the environment and the planet, blah, 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 you know, that's a legitimate worry, but people are going to change because they'll be forced to change, because they're all going to get sick. See, the environment, you can't make it sick and have the people that are sponges, people's bodies are just like sponges, to prevent them from getting sick in this toxic environment. That's impossible. It's not going to happen. So they're going to change. They're all going to jump on the bandwagon. But I want to talk about overreacting as well. Okay, so when you're feeling really sick, don't just completely shut things out because they're somewhat toxic. You know, that, like for instance, I can't go anywhere without my mask on because it'll make me sicker, you know. The amount of auto exhaust that you're going to breathe compared to the toxins that are in your blood is generally going to be minuscule. I mean, it's just that you're sensitive. You're overly sensitive to things. Okay? So you can't just all of a sudden stop everything. You have to keep living. And so there are so many people, I've learned these lessons because I've met so many people and I've experienced this for myself, that they all of a sudden just decide, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. They make it a black and white life. When I see these extremists, it reminds me of myself in the past. It's how I know about them and their attitudes, because to a degree I've been one of those in the past. And yes, there are things to look out for. And you have to take certain precautions and you have to do your best. But you don't want to freak out, because you see, the freaking out, the process of that in itself is worse than the toxins themselves. So, you just back your way out of the whole deal as well as you can. And you see, like, I want to talk about one other thing here. Okay, so now, here I am, I'm traveling about the country. Obviously, I don't have near as good of EMF protection as I did when I had a perfectly quiet, electromagnetically quiet room to live in back in Asheville that I'd worked really hard to create. You know, here I am. Look at this. So the computer's not grounded, and I'm breathing auto exhaust when I travel around, and all kinds of other hazards that I wouldn't generally be exposed to if I were living in my own place and I'd created my own atmosphere. But there are benefits for doing what I'm doing now that I couldn't get before. So, you know, you have to weigh the pros and cons. But generally, you don't want to trip out all of a sudden like people will generally do if you can help it. So, I'll tell you a little story. I knew this woman that she was determined not to go to Walmart. And that was pretty much the only store in Silver City, New Mexico at the time that had some things that she needed, she really needed, you know. And no matter what you think about Walmart or other corporations, you know, I can tell you that I've purchased many a thing at Walmart. And just talking about this on YouTube, I guarantee you that there are going to be some comments down below from some extremists that will, bad comments, that will probably they'll get blocked. I'll instantly block them, and then they won't get to comment anymore, yahoo. But I convinced this woman that she could go into Walmart with me. She was telling me, like, I can't go in there. I just can't. I said, it'll be all right. Just ignore all the bright lights and all this extreme energy in here and all the colors, all the neon colors of things and synthetics, etc. And the smell of the synthetics and chemicals and things in there, it's not going to be significant enough to harm you. See, she was so toxic that she was just afraid to go in there. But I went in there with her and, you know, rubbed her back a little bit. So it's okay, it's okay. And we got the stuff she needed, and then we got out of there, and she survived. I'm telling you, she survived through it. She was all right. But, you know, we're all going to experience a degree, a pretty good degree of pain from all the toxic things in this world. But there's no reason to make it worse with this. So I want to thank you for joining me. Be well. Bye.